Back in the game and well at the top, a king of the ring and calling my spots. I'm raising the bar to crank it a notch. I'm full of mistakes, cause life is a botch. Lights can get brighter and brighter. I walk through that curtain, my levels get higher and higher. Studied the best, in this generation I'm next. Super Kid Party, no doubt we just hit a suplex. Hooker by crook, survive if I let you, they stand to their feet. Sports entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, fresh out the box, stop, look, and watch. Did you check your clock? Cause life, hey, Botch, it's your boy, Hi-Lite Real, joined none other than by my co-hostess with all the mostest, Miss Ash Benny in the building. Welcome
What's up,
to
guys?
What's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? It's glad to be here in the building. How you feeling today, sis? You good?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Had a productive morning. Got some stuff done before the pod. So, how about you? How you feeling?
Man, feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. You know what I'm saying? We same case. You know what I'm saying? Productive morning. You know,
Yes, we
nice
love
and
that.
it's nothing like getting that morning great. You know, you got your workout in. You know, you felt like you did some things off the list. You know what I'm saying? You're like, hey,
Absolutely.
cool. You know what I'm saying? And now we
Absolutely,
work.
man.
We working for the people,
Yep.
working hard. You know what I'm saying? So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Life's a Botch. We are well on the road to our 100th episode all time, y'all. We are well on the way. We are just about almost there. So just understand, y'all. We're gonna do our best to make that as special as possible. And if for any reason we can't make that a live episode, I will do like a best of
Yeah.
showcasing all the best memorable episodes of the past and kind of taking some of previous interviews and giving you guys like a relapse for those of you who are new listeners and probably didn't get a chance to go into the archives of when Life's a Botch was on the come up and when it started out. But we are here. Couple quick announcements, man. Shout out to my boy Dion Summers. We got the Independent Spotlight episode 2, featuring none other than Atlanta's own Dion Summers. It was an awesome sit down with that brother. And yeah, man, y'all make sure y'all get ready to check that out. It will be dropping on Monday. If you are already listening to this on a Monday, that means it's already live. So you should be checking that out before you check out the main episode. You know what I'm saying? But we will have him on the main episode as well. He wanted to definitely tune in with us. So y'all stay tuned for my boy Dion Summers. He will join us for the actual Life's a Botch show one day as well in the future. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the previous episode of the Independent Spotlight featuring none other than August Artois, the FIP heavyweight champion on his UK tour still as we speak. Now, the thing about that is, viewers' discretion, listeners' discretion involved. There were a lot of swear words in that episode, okay? But you know, it's not normally what we do on here that often. But you know, I'm just letting y'all know we did our best to censor most of that, but it was what it was. But that being said, man, shout out to All Caribbean Wrestling. Your boy will be in the building here in Atlanta on February 10th at All Caribbean Wrestling. We're gonna pull up, show some love. We're gonna try to get some interviews live on spot with some people there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see if we can get shout out to our friend of the pod, Elijah Burke, aka Pope. We're gonna see if we can get him on there. Shout out to independent wrestler, the beautiful Cassandra Golden. See if we can get her on there and catch up with her, see how she's been since we had her on. Not to mention, get a hold of some of the people we've been wanting to talk to, such as who else is on there? Jada Stone, she'll be in the
Oh
building.
yeah.
See if we can get her and just some other really dope legends and current talent from AEW. Oh, Red Velvet, our own Red Velvet, our friend. She'll be in the
Yes. Friend of the
building.
pod. Friend of the
So
pod.
we're gonna definitely get her. We're gonna get her on spot for an interview and see if we can bring her on the show as well for
real.
all of that stuff. So that being said, though, that about does it for the announcements in this moment currently. Unless Ash Benny's got something that I need to know about on the up north coast side.
No announcements
No
yet. No
question.
announcements yet. Yeah.
Okay.
All
So
quiet.
that does it for the church announcements. Then on today, y'all, we done with all the announcements. Now we got quite a bit to talk about, man. It was what a crazy weekend it was.
Yeah.
Ash, did you have a pretty good weekend, Ash?
Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend. It was pretty chill. Like the Royal Rumble was kind of like the centerpiece of my weekend.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah.
it
How was
it
the
was a lot.
party? I heard you did the Royal Rumble party, right?
Yeah, it was fun. One of my friends, they had like a watch party, so we went down there. My
Mhm.
husband, like he him and his boys, they have way too much fun. So honestly, they weren't even watching the Rumble. I was more so paying attention to the Rumble.
How does that feel? Normally it's the other way around, right? Normally the ladies are the ones that are like, chit chatting, having all the fun and this and that. And the fellas are like, man, I'm just trying to watch the game. I'm trying to watch the Rumble. I'm like, the ladies are in. Like, how did that feel in that role reversal where you're like, guys, I'm literally locked in. I got content to cover here. What are
Yeah,
you
it's funny because like I'm used to it now because my husband, luckily, I feel like I've kind of gotten him into wrestling more. But
doing?
when we first started dating, he was like, "Oh, you're into wrestling." And then when the
Hmm.
pandemic hit and like we started living together, he was like, "Oh, you're into wrestling. Like you watch wrestling like all the time." I was like,
Hmm.
"Yeah." So he's used to it. We've gotten
That's
used to the
awesome.
dynamic. Yeah.
That's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we got I got a content idea for you, sis. Because I saw your story earlier with sharing some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I need to get asked to literally just be doing some stuff on the TikTok, and maybe even the IG where it's like life as a pretty girl who loves wrestling. Part one, just because it seems like so many multiple parts and scenarios are like, oh my God, you love wrestling, you're so pretty. I wouldn't expect
Yeah.
you to like.
Yeah. It's either
Like,
that or it's kind of like what happened in Royal Rumble 1999? Who won the Royal? Like, like they'll start trying to like be like, are you really a wrestling fan? It's like, oh
I'm telling
my
you,
God.
ain't nothing like them smart marks out there, boy. They always want to test
Yeah.
your knowledge like we just gonna know the whole history book. You know what I mean? It's like, look, dog, come on, man. We're in
Yeah.
the now.
It's honestly, I'm like, don't scare the girls. Don't scare the girls. One of my favorite Twitter moments is when Kat Dennings was like, "Oh my gosh, I think I'm into wrestling now." She tweeted that, and she had just watched SummerSlam. And instead
Hmm.
of like people in the comments being like, "That's so cool," like keep going at it, maybe you'll like branch off and find other promotions and stuff like that. They were like, "Oh no, you need to be watching New Japan Pro Wrestling." It's like, why are you telling Kat Dennings, a
Oh
general
my
public
gosh.
viewer? I was
One,
like, guys,
come on,
guys. I was like,
one
guys.
casual watch, and then suddenly you guys want them to be on everything outside of
Yeah.
WWE. Stop. Let
Yeah. It's like, calm
WWE cook.
down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, calm
that's the
down.
first name coming to mind. Let them cook, and then they'll see other stuff. It don't happen
Yeah,
overnight.
exactly.
Y'all were all babies in this thing at one point in time, unless you forgot. But it's cool. It is what it is.
It's
Nonetheless,
so real.
ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we got a pretty loaded show. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and start this timer. Y'all know what time it is, man. This is how we kick it off with the first segment, called "What's Cooking," inspired by the great one himself, where we basically get into a bevy of topics of things wrestling related and non-wrestling related. Now, we're gonna start off with something on a real serious tone, unfortunately, because that's kind of what it had to be last week. As great of a super week for wrestling as it was last week, it was also kind of a negative, a dark cloud, if you
Yeah.
will. And viewers listening, discretions advised on opinions and thoughts of this. If you don't wish to hear about the subject, personally, I don't blame you. I'm a little over it myself. But for you guys, we're going to definitely give our thoughts because I know some of you guys probably wanted to know our thoughts, views, and opinions on this. But however, I just want to say our personal views and opinions do not reflect anything from our actual platform of OTS Media Co. So we want to thank our personal platform behind this platform for even allowing us to even do and say these type of things. But like I said, this is definitely, if it's an uncomfortable subject for you, feel free to skip ahead to the next segment and we'll continue. But we're not going to make this too long. But
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, there were a lot, and I do mean a lot, of allegations that came upon Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And man, these court documents were definitely something. I'm not going to read into them. I'm not going to even,
For sure.
if you haven't already by now, I mean, you can look them up if you choose, but honestly, they're so uncomfortable that it'd be best if you didn't, honestly.
Yeah, serious trigger warning. Yeah, serious trigger
Yes,
warning if you're gonna do that.
serious trigger one. But it's basically just been reported that basically allegations against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and allegedly, even though not named, many were able to put together the puzzles. Brock Lesnar, as
Yeah,
they mentioned, WWE former WWE slash UFC World Heavyweight Champion. So you put two and two together, you kind of know it's not that many, if any of those. It's really just Brock Lesnar. So
yeah,
um, that being said, there were a lot of graphic detail of just sexual allegations and graphic things in detail described of what Vince described wanting to do to said person by the name of Janelle Grant, and just basically, um, yeah, having an NDA against her and sex trafficking to basically utilize her to resign talent or do
yeah,
other things. And so, it's very it's shocking in terms of how graphic the detail is, but not shocking in terms of what we know about Vince McMahon based off previous history, previous allegations in the past. Vince has been in a lot of different legal troubles over his years where it was kind of one of those things you expected, but
yeah,
to go this deep into detail with it was one of those that was like, this is just a whole nother level of, are you kidding me? Right? Like,
yeah,
as I've told people, I was like, for all the time and flack we gave Robert Kelly for all the things that that man did. This makes all of that look like straight saint, to be honest,
yeah.
from what we've heard, and it's just kind of one of those things where, yeah, um, very uncomfortable. And Ash, I'm not gonna talk too much on my end. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts as a woman when you found out this initial news and as it just continued to rain down in detail?
Yeah, I mean, like obviously I saw it on Twitter, like just like everyone else did. It was super shocking. It was disgusting, some of the stuff that was discussed. And
Mm-hmm.
most importantly, it was just kind of super disappointing on the part of the allegations with Brock Lesnar, just
Mm-hmm.
because it's not like Brock Lesnar is like this retired act. Like he's someone who's been active on the roster. And something else that I felt like that was really, really prominent that happened this weekend as well. Ronda Rousey kind of voiced her opinion and brought Bruce Pritchard to the dance and said that like they need to do like a full sweep. If you're a Vince McMahon guy,
Mm-hmm.
you should not be working with the TKO WWE branding anymore, just because that level of affiliation, that like this is only scratching the surface. Like something tells me that this is unfortunately like just the beginning of how deep these allegations go.
Yeah.
So I mean, like honestly, I just feel like I, I it's hard to make sense of, like someone who you like abuses their power and chooses to manipulate into that to that extent. I mean, all you can
Mm-hmm.
do at the end of the day is just pray for the families, send love to the victims. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like when all of this started to happen, all I could really think of was just like the divas. Like all I could
Man.
really think of was that era, like what those women potentially have gone through, like Stephanie, and just like praying that things, like in terms of like the talent, that's as far as some things will go, especially like Ashley Massaro, may she like rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
It just like, had me thinking about like a lot of different things that could potentially come out of this, like come forward about out of this. Sorry.
No, 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 you're good, Ashley. I mean,
Tongue
I,
tied.
I, I 100% agree with you because that was a whole different aspect I didn't even think about because there were a lot of details that described some of those women. I mean, sometimes this even makes you look at, granted, her situation is probably way different because we saw the dark side of the ring on her story. But it makes you wonder, maybe some of this might also affect why she's been kind of off the rails a bit. But Tammy Sitch,
Yeah,
Sunny, if
Sunny.
you will, she might have been affected by this in that era too, given that she was
Yeah,
like the first real prominent woman to be featured in a high television role as a beautiful
yeah,
woman. Before Sable and all of those come along after her, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler,
yeah,
uh, man, there's a list of women you can go down the line and just think about. Like, man, what are they not telling us that they probably haven't even wanted to say yet, right?
yeah,
Or can't say. You know what I mean?
yeah. With
Um,
NDAs and everything.
yeah. So it's tough, man. And like you said, greatly, our hearts, thoughts, and prayers just go out to people who have spoken out, people who can't speak out but want to, and not to mention again just the fact that in this particular situation, it's one of those where you just more details are going to come and it's going to get a little more uncomfortable before it gets more comfortable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we saw with the press conference at the Royal Rumble. I was shocked, but not shocked that a lot of media personnel tried to dance around the allegations. I was hoping a little bit better from the media, but I understand because at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you still have to ask these questions. So it's
Yeah.
not that they weren't doing their job as different media personnel, but sometimes because of the moment of what that show was, the feel good moments that we'll talk about as we talk about the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
the only thing I'll say to the media is during that press conference, I don't think it was the right time to just do that right now. Because more detail likely is going to come out. And I just feel like it's unfair to the talent now to ask that question. Like for Cody to have to man up as the face
Yeah.
and do his best to answer that question is just like, man, now that's
Yeah.
some true face.
Yeah, for sure. But I do feel like it's a necessary evil, and honestly, I feel like they should have held Triple H's feet to the fire a little bit more because I feel like his
Mhm.
statement was too vague, too blanket. It should have been like a definitive, clear stance. Like we do not condone any of the allegations that are being alleged by Vince McMahon. He has on Vince McMahon. We have no current affiliation with Vince McMahon, and we want the women in the locker room to know that they are safe and that if
Mhm.
somebody does overstep and cross that boundary, that they have the channels and they have the ability to voice that and something
Mhm.
can actually be done about it.
True.
So it's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate all around. seems like
Yeah.
seems to be like a recurring theme, unfortunately, with TK and the fur hat and the big old glasses answering about Chris Jericho. I was like, oh my
um,
god.
that's a subject we didn't really get much into. You're right, that did kind of sweep under the rug and under the radar. I
Yeah, that was a
guess,
while the hiatus.
yeah, that was during our hiatus time. So I guess I could ask you real briefly and quickly about that too. As far as he's concerned, obviously innocent till proven guilty. I guess sometimes that's how I look at it, but then again, it depends. It's such a touchy thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Smiley Kylie did mention, from what I understand of what I heard about the details, she said that nothing happened. But again, you can easily say that if you have an NDA against you. So,
Yeah.
uh, what
Yeah.
do you feel?
Honestly, I just feel like that situation in particular is just like a perfect example of TK does not know how to manage his locker room. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that happened in that situation were completely done wrong. For example, I forget the name of the gentleman who kind of started the entire situation on that live stream, who kind of used Kylie Ray's story, and she didn't really get to tell her story and how it affected her potentially the way that she wanted to. It was kind of
Mm-hmm.
just used as like a checkmate in a Twitter
Mm-hmm.
argument. And because of that, and AEW not really releasing like a formal statement, plus that same night having Chris Jericho on the card,
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't a very good optics wise. It just wasn't a very good look to me.
Man, yeah, I hate that wrestling is. thriving, yet at the same time, it seems like there's always that there's always that part of it where
Yeah.
you're like, man, like Dark Side of the Ring is having a field day right now because I just feel like they're the ones that, to the people willing to tell the story, they're gonna be like, okay, we got this, and they're gonna
Yeah.
get people who are open to talk about it. But man, uh, when you're watching the product thrive and then you're finding out these dark secrets, whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE, and I mean, geez, it's just wild, man. The Patrick Clark stuff
Yeah.
that we talked about last week. I mean, just all of this is just amazing how this is all people either defending themselves and looking guilty trying to defend themselves, or
Yeah.
they're they're defending themselves because they're legit, possibly innocent, but
Yeah.
in the way who knows, But yeah,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, it's not an easy subject to talk about, I promise you. But that's the beauty of why we're here, and that's why OTS helped us create this, because this is what it's for, to talk about the uncomfortability behind this. And I'm just happy to have a woman co-host that can give both perspectives. Where if I feel, because I'm a man, so I know that I can only speak for us men, but to have a lady represent the ladies who can also speak on you guys' behalf is a beautiful tandem. You know what I mean? So I respect it and I love it. But let's move on to a light note. We had a lot of great things that happened as well within this week,
Yeah,
but
for
we're
sure,
still
for
on
sure.
what's cooking. So next thing in what's cooking, I want to chop it up with you about. Now, this is gonna be on some non-wrestling related stuff. But
Yes.
so looks like wild card, divisional weekend, no, championship weekend, all happened while the Royal Rumble was going on that same
Yes,
weekend.
yes.
So to my football fans out there, you got your official Super Bowl matchup. Now, you got a lot of conspiracy theorists out there talking about these Swifties and these Swifties taking over the Super Bowl because of the ratings that Miss Taylor Swift has apparently swifted, and
Yeah.
and suddenly she's
Mhm.
just the center of attention. Now, call me crazy here because I don't know where this debate. First off, I don't know if you got to hear Shannon Sharp mention this bit about Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Now, I'm no Beyonce advocate. I'm no Taylor Swift advocate, but I can tell you this. It's amazing to hear suddenly Taylor Swift have more popularity than Beyonce and Michael Jackson, apparently, from what I'm understanding. I'm like, how?
It's
Where?
simply not true. It's simply not true. It's honestly like when people like comparing. I
Mhm.
went to the Renaissance concert this past summer, y'all. Comparing Beyonce to any other artist that is currently out in terms of entertainment, in terms of vocal ability, in terms of dancing capability, to me is
Mhm.
just rude. It's just wrong.
Come on.
And it's just incorrect. It's just
Come on.
incorrect. In terms
It's a,
of popularity, in
mhm.
terms of pop stardom, Taylor Swift's got it. She's got it.
Oh.
She's a star. She's a star. What can you say? But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, when it comes to Beyonce, it's not, it's more of an organic product. You know what I'm saying? Like she
Mhm.
curates an album. The albums are cohesive, the albums tell a story. Taylor Swift as well. I listen to a little bit of Taylor Swift. I'm not her biggest fan, but you like it's like comparing apples to oranges to me in terms of like the
Yeah.
entertainment, and of
Mhm.
course in terms of like the capability to fill out stadiums,
Mhm.
of course. But when it comes to music, the music capabilities, I'm like, let's not. I'm like, let's,
You know,
you know, I'm like,
I, it,
if Prince was alive, would Taylor Swift get the Prince cosign?
you know
Did she get
what?
the did she get the Tina Turner cosign? If you didn't get the Tina Turner cosign, baby,
Ah,
you're not
ah,
like we can't have that conversation.
you know,
So
you, you make a very, very swell point. It's kind of funny. Like, now listen to my non-melanated listeners out there. This is not about a race here, okay? I promise you,
absolutely
we love
not.
everybody.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it a buck. All right, now wait a minute. So remember when Boys to Men hit the scene and Boys to Men was like the hottest group ever, right? And
Yeah.
they were vocally soulful. We talked about the shout out to a throwback show from OTS, Past Oz. We talked about this from a Netflix documentary where they were talking about like certain artists and what happened. And so they talked about Boys to Men and they talked about their vocal range and their rise to popularity and how they got to where they were at. And then all of a sudden, their popularity dramatically failed suddenly
Mm-hmm.
because mainstream music media decided to say, hey, what if we copy and paste what they do with a white face? Let's get Boys to Men. I mean, let's get Backstreet Boys. Let's get
Insane.
NSYNC. Let's get
Yeah.
New Kids on the Block. And then all of a sudden, these other white men come and they're doing exactly what Boys to Men are doing, but it's not as soulful. And you're like, interesting, right? So
Yeah.
suddenly, I don't remember Taylor Swift being this big, and I'm like, when the heck did she suddenly get this big? My girlfriend calls her the muse artist, mainly because she's the artist that uses whatever her muse is at the moment to get
Yeah.
popular songs.
Yeah.
Travis Kelsey, sorry to tell you, everybody's saying she really feeling you, but there's gonna come a point. Just mark my words. You can clip this. You can clip it. There is going to come a point where the latest headline is gonna say Swift in Paradise. Oh my goodness. Travis Kelsey, Taylor Swift, split. Oh my God. And before you
Yeah.
know it, the latest Taylor Swift album slaps all of a sudden across the universe. And everybody and their mama are like, oh, did you hear the latest Swiftie album?
Yeah.
Man, that stuff she said about, oh my goodness. And you're going to be like, see what I tell you. On to the next one.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend accurately put it this way. I'll tell you this. She mentioned
Mm.
her in the same category as Ariana Grande.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, who was those other ones that used muses as their not Jennifer Lopez. It wasn't Jennifer Lopez. I know Ariana Grande was one of them. I'm trying to remember some of those other artists, but it was like
Yeah.
pop artists that use basically they're dating
What they're
someone
going
and
through,
then
yeah.
yeah. So like, what do you think, sis?
I mean, I feel like I'd rather hear it in the music than hearing the sit down. Taylor Swift sits down with Diane Sawyer at 7 a.m. on Good Morning America. Like, I'd rather hear it in the music.
Yeah,
I'd rather hear
no,
it in the music.
come on, man, come on. Like I said, man, I remember the transition of Taylor Swift. I've had friends that was like, oh yeah, I miss country Taylor Swift, like true country, because apparently she was a country artist first.
Yeah,
How
she
she
was a
became
pop country
this?
artist.
Yeah.
I mean, you win album of the year at the Grammys a couple times and
Mm-hmm.
started streaming out stuff because like honestly I was a huge fan like when I was in middle school of Taylor Swift, and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
watched that transition from her going to like the pop country young girl artist into like the young adult young woman to kind
Mm-hmm.
of then the whole Reputation era with the whole Kanye West thing and her coming out of that. And then when she came out of that, I feel like because of all of that drama, her fan base kind of became like, no, you don't understand. Taylor Swift is fantastic. Taylor Swift is a great person. All of her music is excellent. So I think because of that, like now, especially like we'll talk about it later, when you
Mm-hmm.
get hate trains, your fan base has become a little bit more rabid, become a little bit more defensive about everything.
Oh,
Everything. So
come on. See, and that's what I love hearing right there. See, that you make a good point, sis. So that being said, I don't know what we're gonna say, but I'm just gonna squash this right now before we move on. I don't care what none of you ninjas out here say. Regardless of culture, ain't nobody, and I mean nobody, and that includes you, Drake, Aubrey.
oh,
Nobody
oh,
is bigger than Michael Jackson. Okay? All
yeah,
right? Until you
yeah.
got people fainting, and you ain't done a single thing yet, just standing there. Don't talk to me, bro. I don't want to
Yeah,
hear it.
yeah,
That's not me hating. I'm not a
yeah.
hater. I'm letting you just know facts. Okay?
Yeah,
Because we are quick to do that. We do the same thing with Michael Jordan when it comes to LeBron James. We do the same thing with all these. No, man. people might try to do the same thing. Look, you talking about Roman Reigns and John Cena. You forget Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out with a pop every single time he came out,
Yeah.
building off the roof. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if they were doing stadium shows back when Stone Cold Steve Austin was in his prime. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. All right,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Just chill
Yeah.
out. Okay,
Not wrong.
chill
Not
out,
wrong.
people.
Yeah, and I'm also big on like individualism. I'm big on like this era had this person that people
Mm-hmm.
loved and gravitated towards because of
Mm-hmm.
this. And then this
Mm-hmm.
era had this person that people loved and gravitated towards because of this. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
like it when people are like, oh, you, like, especially like, for example, like Bianca Belair is the perfect example. Like Bianca
Mm-hmm.
Belair is the John Cena of her division. Bianca Belair is Bianca Belair.
Thank
she
you,
she
sis.
paved and created her own way, like in a way, like when
Yeah.
you say like, oh, Taraji P or like Viola Davis is the Black Meryl Streep, that's a complete discredit to the work
Mm-hmm.
that these people have done, you know. So
Facts.
let them stand on their own 2 feet and in
Come
their own
on.
creativity.
See, sis. You know, speaking of standing on their own 2 feet and creativity, that's a perfect segue. Cause on the same music note, I got one more little thing to talk about in what's cooking here.
Oh
Now,
Jesus.
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where this beef came from. I don't know how this beef came from. I really don't. But apparently, Meg the Stallion and Miss Nicki Minaj, yes, that's right, Nicki Minaj, is feuding and beefing with each other to the point where I guess I'm gonna guess this started. You know, I heard there was this song that Megan released and just went off on everyone. I didn't get a chance to
Yeah,
listen to that yet, but
gotta
I
listen
guess
to the
whatever
song.
it is, I gotta
Yeah,
listen to the song. Okay, so I'm gonna listen to that
gotta listen to
song.
the song. Yeah.
But I did hear this response from Nicki Minaj, and I said, "Nicki, really? Like
Have
you
you ever
just rolled? How long? Because I'm like, wait. First off, the last time, Nicki, the last time you came out with a diss track, you were dissing somebody by the name of Remy Ma, and we know how
Mm.
that worked out. We know how that worked out. Now, Nicki,
Listen, she's low key. Nicki is low key, maybe like 1-3 when it comes to rap beef. 1-3 when it comes to rap beef. I'm not even gonna hold you. I feel like she beat the
oh,
Kim. I feel like she won the Kim feud. But
okay,
when it comes to Cardi,
oh,
when it comes to Remy, and now when it comes to Megan the Stallion, I don't know what's
mm,
happening. I don't know what's happening.
yeah, yeah, that ain't a good look, Nick. Because I mean, you just rode the wave of your recent Pink Friday 2 album, which, by the way, I still have not had a chance to really fully check out. I've checked
Mm-hmm.
out some tracks, but I haven't
The
listened
same.
to it still in full, right? So I'm going to listen to it in full. But here's the thing. I just need to say, like, based off the responses I've heard from people, this album was probably her best album in a while. In
You
a
know,
while. Unless you're a super fan, right?
yeah.
But the last couple albums I remember, they ain't do too hot compared to this. Like this one got a lot of buzz. Heck, she's even
Mm-hmm.
ranking it higher than the original Pink Friday. And I'm like,
Which
like what?
so
What?
I'm so kind of just like how I mentioned maybe a couple months ago, like I'm a rehabilitated Aubrey Drake Graham fan. I
Mm-hmm.
am a rehabilitated Barb. Like when I was younger, when I was in middle school, I was one of the kids who was doing all this. Like I wanted bangs just like Nicki Minaj. I was from the Bronx. She was from Queens. We're both from New York. So
Mm-hmm.
I loved her, resonated with her super heavy. And I've been following this beef. So basically, like this beef has kind of been ongoing for 3 years since Cardi and Megan did WAP.
Okay.
Ever since Megan affiliated herself with Cardi, Nicki kind of dropped her. And so to make a long story short, the diss track, I'm not trying to get doxxed or nothing by no barbs. I'm not trying to get doxxed, but this diss track ain't it.
Yo.
This
Yes.
diss track ain't it. Have you ever seen that LeBron James meme where he's like in the studio and he's like listening to music, but the music
Mhm.
that he's playing is like trash? I was like, that was everybody in the booth. That was everybody in the booth. It doesn't even sound like it was
Bruh,
mixed.
no, it
It
didn't.
doesn't. It didn't even sound mixed.
It sounded like she went right up in there, did what she did, said, "This is it, drop it right now." And the engineer's like, "Wait, but I gotta still no, drop it right now. It's cool.
Yeah.
They gonna hear this. And they go because the little foot line where I'm like, that's the best shot you got. You using the foot, really? Shot yourself in the foot. You calling a big foot, really, Nicki?
I'm like,
Please,
boo,
I said, Nicki, no,
boo. Where are my tomatoes
no.
at, yo? Like, where are my
I'm like,
tomatoes at?
I'm like,
Especially
Nicki.
like if you heard the bar, because here's the thing. Megan Thee Stallion, she's coming at a lot of different people. She's not specifically dropping names in the song, but it's essentially like I'm putting y'all on notice, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The bar that Nicki is so upset over, it's these hoes won't be mad at Megan. These hoes should be mad at Megan's law. Now, wait, this line could be it's the music industry,
Mm-hmm.
you know? That could be a general line, a jab at these music producers like Dr. Luke, like different men who try to manipulate and use power, like use their power and positions to get these young and up and coming women who are trying to get an opportunity to, coerce them into something.
Mm-hmm.
Nicki took this line and assumed that everybody was that Megan was talking about her family and that Megan is bringing up old 30-year-old beef when, mind you, the 30-year-old beef that she's referring to is that her husband is a R word.
Come on.
And so it's like, that's not really tea. That sounds more like a federal crime. Like that doesn't really sound like tea to me. And then on top of that, trying to slut shape Megan in 2024, someone who makes
Yeah.
music about sexual liberation. I don't know what Nicki was thinking. I don't know what Nicki was thinking. She was tweeting the bars like 48 hours before she released the song. Like it was I don't know what's happening, but if you guys have been on Twitter, I'm sure you guys know what people have been saying is happening. but
you you know what this beef felt like from when the moment she wrote this track. It's like a wrestler that literally goes under a gimmick change. They repackage themselves and they swear up and down, man, this that gimmick that's gonna get me over, bro. Like
yeah.
they took time and made the vignettes. They took time and got the wardrobe. They took time and I mean this is horrible. Because the moment you come out and that crowd is like, what is this? No reaction, no nothing. Like you hear straight
Phones
silence.
down. Phones down.
Kind of like the
Saving
Rumble. We're gonna
saving
get
camera
into
storage. Yeah, saving camera storage. Like
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. That was this beef, y'all. That's
yeah.
exactly what that track felt like. It felt like that kind of flat gimmick where you're like, dang, bro, I really thought you had one on your hands, but that was not it.
Yeah. And then like on top of that, like she's liking and posting tweets of like depicting Megan as like a gorilla and all of these things. Yeah, like it's
What
like
are
you
we?
are a black woman as well. Like you are a black woman as well. So it's like I don't and this is your fan base. Your fan base is
And you,
predominantly black woman.
yeah,
So
and I'm sorry, Nikki, I don't mean to do this to you, but you're 40. Like you can't be doing that at 40. No, not you can still rap. I'm just saying
oh
you can't be doing no
yeah.
shop. You are not 23. You're not 20. You're 40.
Somebody said that Nicki Minaj acting childish so that her husband stays interested.
Oh my goodness, dog. It's yeah, man. Pray for Nicki Minaj, y'all. Pray for that
Yeah.
her that's coming to her senses on that.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, oh, go
Yeah.
ahead, Ash.
My closing statement on this is going to be that Nicki Minaj, you are the queen of rap. You have done it all twice. You are the most accomplished woman in hip hop.
Mhm.
You have a proven product. You are an empire. You are a brand. And you choose to piss away your legacy and your public perception because your ego is too big. You think that album sales, charting sales mean something when in reality, what means something is actual music. Pink Friday 2 is just samples. And I'm not talking like samples where you chop it up and you make a whole new song Kanye style. I'm talking the exact song ripped and then Nicki's rapping over it. There's no creativity, there's no story. There's songs where you get personal, but you are an accomplished artist. Look at the women who are around you. Beyonce releasing albums that tell stories, releasing albums that empower women and have a point. Megan Thee Stallion is releasing songs that empower women. Nicki,
Mm.
Nicki, Onika, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better.
Ooh, ladies and
We got to do
gentlemen,
better.
that is a mic drop.
We got to do
If
better.
I ever heard one, that is a mic drop. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, life's a botch. You just never know what you're gonna give, how you're gonna hear it, and where you're gonna hear it from. But mark my words, you clip this, guaranteed to go viral. Why? Because that's just something people don't like the truth, but they gonna hear that one. So we'll see, we'll see. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. This is gonna be a nice transitional moment. So we're gonna
Yeah.
transition this into this to then head into Benny's block. I might not be able to do my intro on today. We'll let this bleed into Benny's block. So the final part of what's cooking that's gonna bleed into Benny's block will be the Royal Rumble as a whole.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk just live review and reaction here. Okay. I'm gonna start on behalf of the men's side real quickly. Even though we're gentlemen and we let ladies go first, this is the reason why I'm gonna start with the men here. I gotta have a talk with the men. I gotta have a talk with WWE. I gotta have
Ooh.
a talk with Def Rebel.
Ooh.
Listen, man. This is going on 1, 2, 3 years now. 3 straight years of a Royal Rumble falling flat from lack of surprises,
Mm.
horrible theme songs, and quiet crowd reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you this right now, my MVP of the entire Royal Rumble, this
Ooh.
includes men and women's, my MVP of the Royal Rumble is none other than a friend of the podcast, friend of the show. Shout out to my boy, Ron the Truth, our Truth Killings, ladies and gentlemen, because he is the only man outside of, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, as me and Gresh greatly put last night on Gresh Unleashed. Make sure cheap plug, check it out. It, as we mentioned, if it was not for Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, yeah, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and who was we missing that was in that Royal Rumble?
Jimmy and
Braun
Jay.
Breaker, Jimmy
Jimmy
and
and
Jay,
Jay.
and
Gunter.
Braun Breaker. And Gunther, yes. Those 8 men and R-Truth. But R-Truth being the MVP of all of those because he got the most crowd reaction and kept the crowd into the entire match
Yeah.
on both ends. On both
Yeah.
ends.
Yeah.
No man has been able to do that, like ever. That's a first. A
Mm-mm.
man was able to go into the women's Royal Rumble
Get a pop.
for a comedic reaction with a pop, get the crowd into it, come out later on, and still get the crowd hot by doing something totally different. So
Yeah.
I just gotta say, shout out to my boy R Truth. We love you, man. We definitely hope to get you
For
back on the pod
real.
in the future. I
Yes.
need you back on, man. I gotta get you back on one day because dog, we gotta talk about all of this. But um my gripe with the men's rumble is the fact that the story was cool and the build up was cool,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
the fact of, okay, this is a bit unpredictable. This could go to Gunther. Man, this could go to Cody. Man, this could go to CM Punk. Heck, Drew has a story to finish. This could go to Drew. You had
Yeah,
different factors, right? You had factors.
for sure.
But my gripe overall is just everyone else in between just felt there. And not only did they just feel there, but it didn't help that their themes didn't help them go over either. In past Royal Rumbles, I was rewatching the 2000s Rumble. I was
Yeah,
rewatching, let me see, I was rewatching 2001 Royal Rumble. There was a lot of Rumbles I was rewatching, and I think about some of those theme songs and how they would react to crowd, right? And I'm like, man, XYZ, this is cool. Like you would have some duds, even when you had Jim Johnston or when you had CFOs, you had some dud themes. Maybe a lot of times it may not have been the theme. It was probably just they didn't care for the talent
like,
per se,
yeah.
right? But usually, usually when you at least hear a theme song, you at least know, oh, that's so and so. Oh, I know this person, whether you're gonna
Yeah,
cheer or not. But I watched that crowd every time that clock came on, and this includes the women's too.
yeah.
But I would watch that crowd stand up to their feet, and I'm like, oh, y'all, like, what's the point? Why are y'all doing this every time? They would
Y'all know what
stand to
it
their
is.
feet, hype with their phones out, ready, and buzzer go off. You hear a slight delay. Theme plays. You don't know who it is. You finally see a name on the graphic, and then it's like, oh, well, and then everybody just gradually sits back down to their seat.
It's terrible. It's terrible, terrible,
I'm
terrible,
like, dog,
terrible.
what are
We're
we
losing
what are
the
we doing?
sauce. We're losing the sauce, the secrets of the
For
Royal
real,
Rumble.
for real.
Yeah, I
What
don't.
are we doing? Like, Ash, this is our favorite event. Okay,
Yeah,
like
for real.
what are they doing here? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
and
like, is it? Go ahead. I ain't want to interrupt. I was just going to say this real quick before I
yeah.
turn it to you for a second. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's these stadium shows. You and I were both in Detroit, right?
Mhm.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. When we were there, we know how loud we got.
Yeah.
We do. Yet for some reason it didn't translate well on TV. So
I
I
thought
don't
we
know if
were
that's a
loud. I thought we were
me
loud as
too.
hell.
Me too, sis. But apparently the only time I knew we were for sure quiet and for sure everybody was dead silent was when it was Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in that MMA whatever match that was.
That
That
one
was
was
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I
everywhere else,
in Benny's block we're gonna get to it, but yeah, that
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the only time. So I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to give them credit. Like I'm sure you guys were loud in that stadium, but why did it just
I
feel like, especially hard cam, just to see all the ones on the hard cam, bro? Y'all not making this look good because y'all standing up, pulling out the phone, only to realize when you're disappointed it's
feel
not
like
who you want. You sit down.
ah. And that like for the talent, I can't imagine how that must feel for the talent. I
Mhm.
feel like the men's Royal Rumble should have been after Logan versus KO. Or like
Mm.
after like it should have been the third match on the card. And then I feel like they could have let the Roman match close the show because the men's rumble they were dead for the
Yeah.
men's rumble. Like a lot of the big spots they popped for what they were supposed to pop for. Obviously, the Cody's big win and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But I feel like they were exhausted at that point. And as a
Mm-hmm.
viewer, watching even just a four card show, I was
Mm-hmm.
exhausted after the women's rumble. So I completely understand like the emotional roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like especially a show like the Rumble, so many
Yeah.
surprises and stuff like that. So I feel like they could have sequenced things a little bit better, and
Mm-hmm.
that might have helped because at the end of the day, I feel like Triple H has like a general mid card issue. He has a mid
Mm-hmm.
card issue. Like when it comes to like mid card talent, he'll
Mm-hmm.
showcase them for maybe like a couple weeks, try to give them like put them like a faction, try to make something, and then we'll just not hear from them
Mm-hmm.
for an extended period of time. Like for like for example, like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, their time since making like their main roster debut, it's unfortunate, especially someone like you would have expected way more to happen from like to happen with a lot of these mid carders, but it doesn't seem like they're really going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's weird because I know some people say, "Oh, well, it's good they didn't feature legends and 60-year-old this is and that's and people from the past because they got such a stacked roster." And I'm like, yeah, I hear that, but sometimes my gripe, and I can even say this for the women's, but the women did good with it because you still had a nice mix. Granted, I still probably would have put a legend or two, but it just would have been one you really haven't seen in forever.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people get things mixed up here. It's not that putting a legend in a Royal Rumble is a bad thing. They say, "Oh, you're taking a spot from someone else." Well, it depends. Is that someone else gonna get a pop from the crowd? Because part of what makes the Royal Rumble what it is the pop you're gonna get from the fans when that music hits.
Exactly.
So,
And plus, if you don't even make an impact and you just get tossed out in 2.5 seconds.
Exactly. And see, at least with a legend, if that happens with a legend, it's kind of like, oh, okay, that was a cool, fun little moment. You know what I'm saying? Like when Vicky Guerrero came out that one Rumble, you didn't expect it. She got the pop. She got eliminated in like 2 seconds, but it was just like, well, that's expected. She's not a wrestler. You know what I'm saying?
Top 5 elimination. The way her legs buckle. This is so funny. When she flumps over the rope, it's just so funny.
But you see what I'm saying? That's what I mean.
Sure.
I'm like, you easily could have threw a mix of some legends in there, bro. Like that's one thing. The who shall not be named. One thing about his booking in terms of doing the legends thing, at least he was smart enough to know like you can rely. Now he was too reliant upon that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying put a bunch of legends in there. I'm just saying
for sure.
sprinkle a little like a legend or two.
And then also, where were the NXT talent? Why wasn't Trick in the Rumble? Why wasn't Trick in the Rumble?
I think that would have been a very swell surprise to hear.
Why wasn't Ilya in the Rumble?
Exactly. Like that stadium, if they would have did that, whoop that Trick. Bro, that would have been live, dude. And see, the difference between that and Jey Uso was I understood why your man had to go first. Now that I understood.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah.
I like that choice. I like that choice.
You with an interest like his, you gotta do that. So imagine
have that entrance,
exactly, because we were laughing and joking on the show last night, talking about like, man, can you imagine if he'd have been in any other number other than one, trying to run out and do that and run out, and white folks ain't coordinated.
Yeah, like the coordination would have been all. The coordination would have been all.
Oh boy, oh my god. So I mean, that was my gripe with the men's though, man. It was just like it was that, and like you said, some of the talent, because Andrade's return felt flat to me.
Not a big elimination moment. And then plus, why didn't Jimmy play a part in Jay's elimination? Like, I don't understand. I'm about to like knock on the Stanford door and be like, what's going on with the Jimmy and Jay? Like, what are you doing about the Jimmy and Jay feud for WrestleMania? Because it's like we're starting, we're stopping, we're starting, we're stopping. Having them start as 1 and 2, couldn't have written it better myself. Shout out to Griff. If you watch the podcast, he called that. But why not have, when Jimmy got eliminated and Jay laughed at him, and then Gunther was trying to eliminate him, why not just have Jimmy just completely eliminate him to help cement the feud? The whole entire point of the Rumble as well is supposed to like create little mini stories for us to chew on leading up to Mania, and I don't even feel like we really got that this year.
No, we really didn't, sis, and that's one thing that's got to be changed. The build up is like an A plus.
Yeah,
I will say that the build up for this year's Rumble was an A plus, but the execution of this year's Rumble is more like a C plus B minus in a sense. Because I felt like the women's Rumble was quick with the final four. You didn't even really get a final four, which was odd because I was like,
Yeah.
wow, you got a final three more so than a final four. But even that went like
Yeah.
quick.
And you
But
would
like
think there's 4 matches on the card, you would have gave them way more time to air that,
draw
like
that
to
out.
have that drama out, you know?
Yeah, like the men's dragged when it got to that final four because I'm like, we were all like, dog, okay, any day now. Like, especially when it got down to Cody and Punk, it was just like, okay, come on now.
We
Like,
know, yeah.
one of y'all winning this, so which one is it? Like, bro, don't make it
Yeah.
seem like, and it just, all of that just came off so long and lengthy. Like, bro,
Yeah.
so.
And it was unfortunate because like obviously they went with Cody. We don't
Mhm.
know, like we can get into like obviously CM Punk with the Drew
For
McIntyre
sure.
spot with the DDT. CM Punk is
Hmm.
unfortunately injured with the torn tricep. Probably will be back for
Hmm.
the summer. Literally devastating, but moving on.
Hmm. Hmm.
um like they knew how, even though there was so much hype around this rumble, when you
Hmm.
start watching it, you're kind of like, oh, it's kind of like this, it's kind of predictable still. Like, it's
Yeah.
going to be between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. So I feel like
Hmm.
they could have used that opportunity to kind of give us way more intensity. Like, I feel like the men's rumble was missing, it was
Hmm.
missing a certain intensity that was like a little bit disappointing to me.
No, I agree. 2001 Rumble is like one of my favorite examples of that. I think about when Kane held that elimination record for as long as he did, of like 11 eliminations that year. Like, you felt that intensity a bit because it was like nobody was really thinking about Kane that much at that time. Like, in
Yeah.
terms of like when you had the Undertaker and The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and like there were so many names that were like kind of you were thinking of, and Big Show had come back, and it was just kind of like all these names of people. But then all of a sudden, for Kane to just like make an impression, I'm eliminating, eliminating, just
Yeah.
like
Light
what I'm
work.
saying, and come down to the two where it was like you felt intensity, like, oh man, it's down to me and Austin, and I got to do something. Austin's trying to get you out because you're a monster, and
Yeah.
he doesn't, you're
Not trying to deal
frustrated
with
as a
that.
monster. You get a chair, you're trying to take it to Austin. It's just
Yeah.
like it just you felt stuff like that, but like man, you don't get that right now, and it's weird, So it's like
Yeah. Even like
some
normally
people.
when they bring legends back, there's always like two legends that they have face off. Like one year where they had the Trish and Mickey moment, like
Mhm, yeah,
moments that are earned. I feel like we didn't
mhm.
get too many iconic face offs this year. We
Well, you
had
did
we
get
had one
one.
that was enough. We had one that was enough. That was
You
enough
did have one.
for the price of admission. But
You could argue and say you had two actually. You could say you had two because Jimmy and Jay's face off did
oh,
get reaction.
that one was really good too. Yeah, that one was really really good too. Jimmy
That
was
did get.
like that was probably for me like the most intense part of the match. The
Yes.
ending, the ending, I was kind of like, who's gonna win? But in my head, I thought CM Punk was gonna win. So it was like a nice swerve to me. I honestly
Mhm.
wonder if it was an audible, like that was called on the spot because of CM Punk's injury.
It could have
But
been because I feel like a ref he might have communicated with and let him know that something was wrong.
he
And
immediately knew. Yeah, he immediately knew something was off.
but who knows? Because at the end of the day, you can say maybe it was just intended for Cody because of the fact that we had Ruthless Lala, independent wrestler, on the scene on the show last night, and she was talking about a lot of people not understanding. You have to watch the story that's been told to us from the time Cody of last year to this year. So, for example,
For sure.
okay, he comes back. He's got his big comeback from AEW. He's the new surprise and that guy in WWE. He makes it known I'm here to finish the story, right? So then he's on a feud with Seth Rollins. Beats him not once, not twice, three times. Only in that third time, unexpected pet tour,
Yeah.
and we get the as Gresh calls it, the purple titty, uh, that showing, right? So you get that, only for him to be set back for a number of months. Then he comes back at number 30 spot. He wins the Rumble, but people are like, "Oh well," the backlash is, "Oh well, he didn't really earn that because he came in at number 30." Like, well, it's easy to do that, man. Where's the struggle? Where's the this and that? So he
Yeah.
had to earn it, right? He then goes to WrestleMania. He loses. He failed, right? Then
Mhm.
he's trying to get back. Here comes Lesnar. Now you got to go through that monster a couple of times. Get beat
Yeah.
down senseless, right? We saw that story end, so we saw what
Some.
punishment he
Yeah.
went through, right?
Yeah.
And how that ended from that punishment. So then, fast forward to Jey Uso, quits the bloodline. What does Cody do? He brings Jey over to Raw. What does
Yeah.
he then do? Wins the tag team titles with Jey. What
Yeah.
does that do? Piss off Roman.
Yeah.
Roman's looking at him face to face like, dog. Yeah, I took a member of your family and won a
Yeah.
championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something you couldn't even do under your own umbrella when they was trying to get the titles back, right?
Yeah.
And then,
See?
and then, right? And so they have that face off. Those seeds were being planted, so you kind of had an idea a little bit that,
Oh, for sure. And plus, like, he never challenged Seth. It was very clear who he wanted. It was very, very clear who he wanted. Because if he wanted to challenge Seth, he's on Raw. All he had to do was just walk over and be like, I want the belt. And it certainly would have happened. So that's certainly the story that they've been telling.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see how they keep it. How they
Cody,
keep it interesting.
yeah, Cody is a great baby face. Like, I love Cody, but I just feel like I haven't had that connection moment where it's like, oh, I love Cody. Like, I'm outside wrestling. I'm out like in front of the WrestleMania merch line. Like, I need the American Nightmare tee. Like, I haven't had that moment. I'm sure a lot of people will have had that moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's had so many fantastic moments since his return. I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet in my journey.
Maybe, just maybe, sis.
Mm.
So, slight confirmation of affirmation here. Maybe when we have that interaction with Cody Rhodes,
Oh, yeah.
maybe just maybe then
Yeah.
that
I'll get it.
connection comes, and you'll be
I'll get
like,
it.
"I'm a fan of this man for life."
Yeah.
Like, you
I
never know.
understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. I can see it now. You know what I'm saying? Ash
Yeah.
Vinny converts to a Cody Rhodes fan after
Yeah.
interaction with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Change
Like,
my Twitter name to Cody Cutter. Just become a Cody stan.
oh man. So we're not gonna we'll save that for Rick because I know Rick's gonna bring up obvious as he calls beach ball. But I know you heard and felt the groan of how that match turned out the moment it seemed like Roman was this close to losing that title yet again.
Yeah.
Solo pull out reveal.
Listen. I don't know why. Solo keeps showing up with that damn hoodie. We know it's you. We know it's you, one. And two, he has a plethora of family members.
True.
I feel like they need to do something to spicing up these matches because, like, obviously I love Roman. I've got his Funko right over here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm right there with you. I got you.
Okay. But Saturday night, it was
Mm-hmm.
giving like, for Roman, it was giving, I just clocked into this damn job. Now I gotta work. Now I gotta work an 8-hour shift. Like, that's what it was giving to me. Like, that's what it was giving. It was giving I was inconveniencing him. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, my bad. My fault.
Yeah.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
That is how that feels. Oh my gosh. That
He's
definitely
mad as
doesn't feel
hell. I was like, why
good.
are you so mad, King? We know you're retaining.
No, yeah, and that's why I say there's really no need to even. I mean, those two matches in between the Rumbles, we talk about predictable. It was very obvious. We were like, Well, yeah, of course Logan's gonna keep that title because it's speculated he'd likely lose it at Mania. But then, yeah, the way they ended that, you could make an argument. Maybe Elimination
Yeah,
Chamber, maybe. But
maybe.
we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean
In
they're trying to
terms
make
of
Perth a big deal, so.
yeah, we'll see what happens there. In terms of Roman, at this point, it's not a matter of if, a matter of when, and it's like, at this point, at the earliest, you're looking at WrestleMania in April. Or at the latest, you're looking at possibly September when he breaks Hogan's record. So, no, October-ish, sometime September, October.
Yeah.
Can you wait that
Honestly,
long?
I can. I can, baby. I can. I can hold on.
He said, I can hold on.
Everybody else is pissed, but me, I'm here for the ride. Like, I'm here for the ride.
I gotta check on you then when that moment comes and that 3 count hits and it's actually over. I gotta check on you then because you'll be like, oh my Tribal Chief, no.
You're gonna hear a thud because I'm literally like the sound of me just like falling to my knees, like no.
Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be very interesting when that night comes. But
yeah,
I will say let's transition to the real. This is a Benny's block moment. So let's talk about the Royal Rumble of the women and why this was pretty much the greatest Royal Rumble of the night. The Rumble of the night. Some
Rumble
had
of the
mixed reactions.
night.
Some
Yeah,
said it wasn't the greatest. Some said it wasn't. I'm not. I liked it. It's in my top 5 for sure. So
for sure.
You tell me, sis, where you at?
I feel like in like just comparing 2023 versus 2024, I like 2024 because I a little like a hair more, just because I feel like the formula that they had produced for the 2023 Rumble was what was needed. There wasn't any like major returns in terms of like anybody on the roster, like on the active roster, but we had a legend debut. We had really good face-offs. Still like the mid-card talent, like it didn't really feel like they didn't get like too huge of pops, but I feel like the story, there was like so much going on with like interwoven people into the story, and I feel like that final 3 was excellent. Like the finish of the 2023 match is my favorite finish of any Royal Rumble. Like I love the finish of that match. Asuka with the mist, Rhea falls off, Liv's like trying to hit her, and then she just like catches her with her legs and just tosses her off the. It's so good. It's so good. Whoever TJ, yeah, they need to give you a raise for that. Yeah, they need to give you a raise for that.
For sure.
But but with this one, I feel like it was really, really good. It's just that unfortunately for me, the tag teams were kind of like not necessarily the downfall, but they ended up kind of just making the match have like a low point. There was a point where once I believe Bianca was 10 or 11. Once Bianca came out, that's when I was like, oh baby, the match has officially begun. The match has officially begun. But after that, it was just like Tegan Knox, Valhalla, Xia Li, Candice LeRae, and like no discredit to these talents because they are incredibly talented and they 100% deserve a spot on a pay-per-view like this, like a PLE like this. But at the end of the day, a business is a business. You need to I feel like they need to find that balance of, yes, people like you guys deserve spots and you guys deserve opportunities, but Triple H, he needs to figure out how to create more opportunities for these women on the shows so that when these PLEs happen, we actually care what they do. Valhalla, she had that spot with R-Truth. I felt kind of bad because R-Truth was the star of that spot, like nobody even really cared about Valhalla,
Hey, Michael Cole tried his best, bro. He tried his best.
He was hyped for the antlers.
He's like, oh, she's got the Adam. She's got him. She's got. I was like, Cole, chill. Wait a minute. You a little too hype on this, bro.
He was a joyful man Saturday night. Something
He
like he
was,
was in good spirits. He was in really good
yeah.
spirits.
I was like, okay, well, the antler's over. That's for sure. All right, cool.
Yeah. Like
Man.
but I feel like the way it
Mhm,
started, I almost feel like it started too high because I 100% understand why they had Naomi go second because she
mhm,
deserves that moment. She deserves that entrance where she can come out and really like soak it in before they ring the bell. But I feel
mhm,
like maybe they could have moved Jordan if they were going to keep this lineup, move
mhm,
Jordan's arrival a little bit later in the match, like a later placement, just so that it's
mhm,
kind of like more surprises throughout the match instead of just kind of like huge surprise in the beginning. Bianca Belair arrives, kind of like a lull period for maybe like 25 minutes. And then we
mhm.
get to the 20s where Becky comes, Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne, and then of course
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, Jade Cargill. Like that's when the like that's when the match started to pick up again. When
Yes.
Nia started tossing people out of the ring,
Mhm.
that's when I was like, okay, things
Now
are
we're
picking
getting
up.
there.
Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, I was like, now we're cooking with
Mhm,
gas again. But before, like, there was just a point where I was just kind of like, and
hmm.
I felt so bad because a lot of the times these women are super talented. It's just that I feel like the themes aren't there. A lot of
At
the
all.
gimmicks, like we're at all, at all. We're gonna get into it on Benny's block, but some of the
Mm.
packaging of the gimmicks aren't there. Like I
Hey,
feel like they might.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
We in Benny's block, baby. We here. We segment. We good. So don't
Okay.
talk your ish, sis. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So let's start with WWE. So starting with SmackDown last Friday, I
Mhm.
want to give like a huge shout out to the Carlito versus Santos match. It was super fun
Okay.
and fast paced, but obviously we have to focus on that finish because as Zelina Vega gets onto the apron, Electra Lopez makes her SmackDown debut and her presence known by
Yes.
tossing and beating Zelina up, helping Santos Escobar secure the win. I'm so happy. It's about time. I feel like
Yes.
during SummerSlam, what was that match where Santos left the brass knuckles?
Oh yeah, when he no, that was I thought
Like
that was Crown Jewel, right?
Crown Jewel. Yeah. So
Hmm.
like I feel like this has been like a long time coming. Now Legado del Fantasma is complete because they have
The
their
new
first
version.
lady. Yes, the new version. They changed the members. They changed the members. But honestly, I feel like this version works better because Joaquin, like what they're doing right now with LWO, they're right where they need to be, and like how they're showcasing that team week to week is perfect.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the Electra, the potential matches that Electra's gonna have, and it finally gives Zelina something to do within
Yes.
LWO.
I get my
She's kind of just
Latina showdown.
we had another Latina showdown last night. Okay.
Indeed. We'll get to that one too, boy. I was like,
Oh
okay. Let's
yeah, they
go.
were wild. Wow. Okay. So next we have a fun and dynamic match with the Kabuki Warriors versus Caden Carter and Katana Chance
Man.
for the women's
Mm-mm-mm.
tag team titles. So here's the thing.
Come on, sis.
I feel like this match was not only super predictable, but it was a little bit disappointing. Now, mind you, the match was pretty enjoyable. I enjoyed a lot of the spots that they had in it.
Hmm.
Asuka and Kyrie were booked exactly how they should be in the match, but my disappointment more so comes from the side of Kaden and Katana. They got to do something with them. They have to do something with them. Like I feel like the party gimmick, they gave them this gimmick that's like, we're party girls, we go to raves and stuff like that. It's like the most PG, like washed clinical version of like a party girl gimmick that you could possibly do. And it's like either fully go in on the party gimmick and like they have like the move set, like the keg stand, their fantastic finisher that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I need more. I need more from the gimmick because they're not popping on the main roster. And honestly,
Yeah.
that gimmick wasn't really popping on NXT. I think it was more so that NXT crowd saw them grow and saw them like saw their progress. I don't necessarily think that the gimmick itself was what was working for them. I think that they're just likable people. So
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, Hunter, bottle girls, sparklers. Like I need the commitment. Like I need like coming down to the ring. I need the get the NXT girls to do it. Give them a spot. Give them a spot on SmackDown every week. I need extraness from them because something to make us remember them. Because when Kaden, or I think Katana came out first. When Katana came out first for the Royal Rumble, and her music hit, and she did like her little dancey dance, I felt terrible. Nobody popped. Nobody did anything. Nobody moved. It was like you could practically hear a pin drop.
Yeah, I did peep that a lot. Like you mentioned, it's wild how you can tell either the talent's trying or somebody's trying, but it ain't registering. And that Royal Rumble, man, listen, at this point, the Royal Rumble is a good tester, right? We like to call it the
Yeah.
playoffs of WrestleMania too. The Royal Rumble is a good tester of knowing A, who's over, B, who's not over, C,
Mm-hmm.
who needs a theme song change.
Yeah.
Those 3 points right there. Because I say, for example, R-Truth. Let's go back to that for a second. His
Mm-hmm.
theme is over because that's a theme that he's had for so long. The fans know it when they hear it. Number one.
Yeah,
Number
exactly.
two, number two, he's more hot now because of the fact that you've been invested in him. I mean, he's always been hot in his own way. He's always found ways to
Yeah.
reinvent himself. But this iteration is even hotter because of the whole Judgment Day situation. Because
Yes.
week to week, the man has made you see a different side of Judgment Day you didn't think existed. He
Facts.
got them unstale, if you will, right? And
Yeah.
so now, after what we saw on Raw, I'm saying to myself, well, yeah, it's pretty evident he's gonna get the pop of the night at WrestleMania because him and Miz are winning those tag team titles. I'm convinced.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm
That's
convinced.
insane. That's
Awesome,
insane.
awesome truth. So I
Yeah.
know I feel you on that. Sis, like you could. My issue with Kaden and Katana was y'all didn't even give them a build up to this. Like,
That's my whole
not at
other
all.
point. That's my whole other point. Yes, I'm happy that we're getting matches, but that's all
Mm-hmm,
we're getting. It's giving like they're like, here, damn. Like you guys have been complaining so much, just take it.
mm-hmm,
We need, I feel like they, because of the fact that the damage control storyline is kind of reaching its potential implosion between like Bailey and the rest of
mm-hmm,
the girls,
mm-hmm.
I feel like they kind of expedited Kaden and Katana's reign when they could have utilized that reign to establish other tag teams on Raw, establish other tag teams on SmackDown. And I thought it was blasphemous that we just fast forwarded right to the Isla Dawn and Alba Fire match the week prior. I thought that that was worthy, certainly worthy of a feud, certainly worthy of like a couple matches than what we got.
Yeah,
So
because you talk about no reaction.
uh,
My goodness, that
they
Royal
were
Rumble. Good God, I heard that music. I said, "Who the heck is this?" I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
"Who's
not it's
this?"
not good. It's not good. And it's such a shame because like Alba Fire, formerly known as Kaylee Ray, she is such a fantastic talent. And she has been
Mm-hmm,
kind of floating around the developmentals like NXT UK, NXT for a while before making that main roster debut last year. And to see, I kind of treat it like a kind of like an annual performance review. Like when their music hits at the Rumble, what have they done this past year? What impact have they made this past year? And most importantly, how are they going to maximize off this moment that they have in the Rumble? And I feel like
mm-hmm,
because of the fact that these women haven't been getting the TV time, haven't been getting the promo time, they still don't
mm-hmm.
know who they are. So they're coming out, they're trying to do these spots, but people don't care because it's wrestling entertainment. You can do all the flips, all the cool stuff, But if the person watching is not resonating with you, nothing's gonna come of it. So that was a little bit disappointing. But still solid match. I feel like the ending of it was where it was supposed to go. I'm happy that the Kabuki Warriors have the belts. Hopefully they book them more. And finally, that match should have at least been like a pre-show Rumble match.
You know what? You're right.
Blasphemous. Blasphemous.
That would have been big time. I agree. That
blasphemous.
You could have. See, I like the way you're thinking here, because sis, let's talk about these kickoff shows here, because I don't understand the point of something they know we're not watching at all.
Boring as hell.
No disrespect to people like Booker T and whoever else they put on there.
For sure.
We love Booker, but why are y'all doing these panel things when you could easily take that same time, just show some video packages, do a pre-show match, and then go into the show?
Yeah, like give them like a 20-minute spot, like 40, like at right at 7:40. Yeah, right before the Rumble starts. I don't understand that, especially since like they've been communicating that they want to make the tag titles seem like they're a big deal. That to me is not how you do that. You do not have a title match the night before one of your huge pay-per-views. It kind of like how many ways can you say that these titles don't matter, that these titles are accessories?
Yeah, no, I know, sis. That is, I never would have thought about it like that, because you could have easily, I don't know, SmackDown, you could have did something else with it, where it didn't have to have that match on SmackDown. I agree. That easily could have been
Asuka in the match. Besides that awesome like moment of like Asuka's music hitting and Bayley being like, "What the?" Like that was a great story beat. Other than that, there was no reason to have the tag team champs in the match. But
although Kyrie stole, went home.
Kyrie stole the show,
Whatever that was, I was like,
I don't know. How do you even discover that you're capable of doing something like that? I don't know how the hell she did that, but I was like, more power to you, sis. More power to you. I don't know. It was my favorite part was just Asuka doing nothing, like just trying to bring her up. Like Asuka, like actually tried to like.
Yeah, because it's like, was that on purpose? Did you mean to do this, or what are we doing here?
Yeah,
it was weird, but
I think yeah, I think it was a botch. I think to add to the story from the night before, I think Katana was supposed to eliminate them. But I think that it was a botch because after Kyrie got eliminated, Asuka's like standing on the rope and she just looks into Bianca's eyes and she's like, "Eliminate me!" So Bianca just like runs and pushes her off the rope, which I thought was excellent.
Yeah, I saw Bianca laugh a couple of times when they were doing some kind of like when they were trying to get Nia Jax over. Or was it Nia or was it Piper? It was like Piper and Niva, and they were trying to, and she like look, you kind of see her slight laughing, trying to get over. I'm like, y'all are having a ball, boy. But let's talk about real quick while we're still on the subject of the Rumble though. What were the most standout eliminations moments for you that just were like, whoa?
The most standout moment for me, besides the Bianca and Jade face-off, was Jade eliminating Nia. That was incredible. And plus, like, talk about selling. Like, Michael Cole was selling the crap out of it. Like, when she had Nia on her shoulders and she did, like, the flex, it was like, oh, like, he was going crazy. Launched her right over the top rope. I don't know a better, like, the way they booked Jade in this match is perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. The entire presentation was really, really good. That was a really standout elimination to me. It's not really standout, but I found it super funny that after Kyrie and Asuka got eliminated, Bayley was like, I thought you guys had a plan. I just found that really funny. I don't know why.
That didn't. So I'm gonna tell you what's so funny. I'm gonna reiterate this again for my girl because I said it on I'm gonna say it for you this time because she told me to make sure I reiterate this because I watched this Rumble
Okay.
twice. I watched it solo and
Oh,
then I
nice.
watched it with her because I wanted her to see this. And
Yeah.
because I just wanted to see when it got to that final, I will say when it got to like the final 7 women, I believe, boy, she could not call a winner. I was like, so who do you think's winning this?
Yeah.
Like she was rooting for Naomi, Jade,
Yeah.
Bianca, her favorite, Liv. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of them. But
When
Bailey,
I tell you, yeah, Bailey winning, super happy that Bailey won. But this
mm-hmm,
like final 7, final 6,
mm-hmm,
possibly the greatest ever,
man,
ever for a women's rumble. Whoa.
yeah,
Whoa.
man.
Like you want to talk about top talent superstars, every single person. And then plus I've just felt so proud because Tiffany was there. So I was like, oh my
Uh,
God. I was like,
that Swanton just over the
came in hot,
man.
came in hot, came plus another super memorable elimination to me was the Rapunzel spot where Bianca where she's pulling off
Oh,
Bianca's braid.
sis,
Oh man.
I'm
Excellent.
I'm 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 mad that you actually like that. You know, as a black woman, I'm surprised that you actually like that
Here's the
spot. Now
thing. Here.
let me, because that's if it's one black girl magic rule, and I know you know this,
Oh my
you do
gosh.
not you do not pull a black woman's hair at
Absolutely
all.
not. Absolutely not. But here's the thing. It was so in line with everyone's character. Like Tiffany is low down to where she would do that. Like to where she would be hanging off the damn apron, trying to eliminate this girl Spider-Man style. Bianca's
Yeah.
holding off for dear life because this woman is will persevere through anything. And Bailey,
Mhm.
forever the opportunist, just boop, like
Yep.
excellent. Everybody's character and this was just excellent, 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 excellent.
That's actually what my girl was saying. She wanted me to make it very known. Bailey was straight side swiping. She was observing Bailey every time. And every elimination that girl got, if you go back and watch, straight swipe. Just swipe, gotcha, you're eliminated. Swipe, you're eliminated. Swipe, you're gone. Like,
I the evil laugh she did after she eliminated them too, just like just relishing in it, just relishing in it. I was like, yes, this is
um,
excellent.
nah, but look, Bianca, listen, sis, we gotta have a talk. All right, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. Next year, girl, if you don't tie that braid up, I know that's part of your trademark, but just for the Royal Rumble
Yeah, put it in
only,
a bun. Put it in a
you
bun.
need to bun the mess out of that so nobody can ever do that to you again. Okay?
Yeah, facts, facts.
I'm
But
done with that.
at the same time, Bianca, I need a YouTube video on how you put this braid together because that braid is sturdy. I need the tutorial. I need the tutorial. The edges. She'll be doing a 30-minute match. Edges laid. I'm like, girl, drop the hair tutorial. Drop the hair tutorial. Like stop playing. Like stop playing. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah.
Facts,
I
big
need
facts.
to know. I need to know how she put this together. Cause if that were me, Tiffany would have fell. Tiffany would have fell. Tiffany would have fell.
No, child, you on your own. You got to
Yeah.
go. So I would tell you that speaking of eliminations, most memorable elimination moment for me was that you went Jade, so I'll go Bianca and I'll say that KOD on Jordan Grace on the apron, the hardest part of the ring, bro. I was like, man, Jordan, I hate to see you go like that, but only Jordan would take
Excellent.
something like that.
Excellent. Yeah.
Jordan, she would, because even in something like that, she stood out because that crowd said, "Holy crap!" Like,
Yeah. But that's
whoa,
a that's another fantastic point. Like, let's talk about how Jordan Grace is from a completely different company. And when
yes
them
sir,
police sirens hit, she got
yes
a bigger
sir.
card than some women in the division. She
I
got a
was
bigger
like,
pop
man,
than some
what?
women in the division.
Tell me about it, bro. Like, I'm like, see, I was so proud of TNA in general because I was like,
Yeah.
the fact that she got a pop told me one about her status. Another friend of the show. We got to get you back on, sis. We got to get you back on. Talk about that moment. But like, dog, to see 48,000, I believe they said was in attendance, to see them react to that. Little old TNA, which has got a lot of history. They may be little, but they got a lot of history. People forget that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means people know they research. And I'm like, we got a lot of casual fans. We got some hardcores out there too. So they knew as soon as that siren went off. And I you know, the production sometimes gets me though, because when you hear the crowd, when that buzzer went off and I heard the siren, I'm like, now who is this? And then it took a minute because I was, you know, it was her theme from TNA, but it didn't.
It's like it doesn't seem real. It didn't seem real.
Yeah, like until I saw her come out, I was like, yo, what? I was like, dog.
Surreal moment. And it was like, to me, like, star-making performance. She showed up and she showed out. Like, when she was eliminated, I was like, yeah. I was like, you took this opportunity and maximized on it completely. I was like, Gail Kim, hold on to her. Hold on to her. Because TNA needs her. TNA needs her. Like,
bro.
Because I know Paul was like, so when's her contract up?
Yo, yeah.
When's her
no doubt.
contract up?
Bro, we got a lot of dream matches ready for you, Miss Grace. I need Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace versus Bianca Belair, Jordan Grace versus Nia Jax, Jordan Grace versus Ivy Nile. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Grace versus Tiffany Stratton. Jordan, like,
she would fit right in. She would fit right in with the Muscle Mommy era.
You know, let her and Naomi run
it back. So
that match, oh my God, boy, that match is killer, boy.
Hard to kill. Yeah, honestly, probably one of the best in Trinity's career. Like, that was fantastic. So
but
shout out to
even the rematch too.
Yeah.
Man, my God, I was like, jeez.
Yeah.
But you know, this is what made me also more disappointed in the men's though, because to see that in that moment specifically with Jordan and TNA, I said, does this mean I could see Moose? Does this mean I could see, you know, like a Trey Miguel or somebody? Like, bro, what does this mean? Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't. And I was so let down, bro. I was like, dang. Y'all ain't get one for the men. Y'all could have got TNA to get like one male and one female, you know what I'm saying, to represent both sides. No.
You wish, yeah. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah, hopefully next year. Because they did the exact same thing with Mickey too, when Mickey came as the Knockout Women's Champion. So I wonder why they only picked the women. So
I don't know, man. It is what it is, but you know, that bravo to all the women in that Rumble. Nia looked like a beast.
Yeah.
I do have to ask you this about Jade. Well, look, first, just the moment of when that music hit. Take us to your reaction. The moment 28 went off on that clock and you heard a storm is coming and you saw Jade on the...
I lost it. At that point, everybody at my watch party was tuning in, like, was like kind of like, oh, this is getting kind of good. Like, let's sit down and kind of like watch this with her. When Jade came out, everybody was like, who is that? Who is that? Superstar.
I bet you maniacally laughed too. I bet you were like, little do you know.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to know?
I love that she gets that reaction from people. Like, casuals that see Jade are like, what the? Who is this?
It's a superhero. It's a superhero. Like, a superhero in real life. Like,
man.
Like, oh my gosh. You would see her in a random room. Like, she's one of those people who you would, like, if you're shopping at a store or something and you see her, you're like, I don't know you, but I know you're important. I know you do big things outside of this grocery store. You know, like, like, I know you're important. Like, she just has that look. She just has that star look.
She does. And I love hearing it.
Yeah. And then another moment for me, probably like in terms of entrances, definitely like Naomi's return. Like I cried. I
Mhm.
cried during Naomi's
Yes,
return. It was so
she did.
emotional. Yeah, like the welcome back chance, like everything, it felt so deserved. I was really, really happy that they gave her that 2 spot, especially with
Mhm.
Natty, since they're like the last 2 divas of the division, like it
Oh
felt,
yeah.
yeah, and having Bailey come in as 3, like it just felt right. Like it just felt
Uh,
right.
you
Yeah.
know,
It felt like a nice warm hug.
I will say, not by accident, I'm sure, but it was very convenient that her and her husband were both number
That
two.
was
And I was
so
like,
cute. That was so cute. I was like, I'm literally like waiting by the phone for the Trinity and John photo, like of them backstage. I'm just like, I'm not asking for
yeah,
much. I'm not asking
yeah.
for much.
Can't wait to see what they do. SmackDown. Let's just SmackDown is going to be very very interesting Friday because
Yeah.
we saw the aftermath on Monday. But boy, technically, I guess one could say technically right now, even though they're slowly gearing up Raw to be the flagship show again, thanks to
Mm-hmm.
Netflix now. Technically speaking, SmackDown's still the flagship show. So that now
Yeah.
means you're possibly going to see Roman, you're going to see Randy, you're going to see LA Knight, you're going to see Bailey and Damage Control.
Yeah.
That segment play out. You're going to see Jade, I'm sure, because I'm going to guess she's going to be on SmackDown, I guess.
Yeah.
Can't
I
tell.
feel like for me,
Or
I would
Naomi.
put her on Raw just because
Yeah.
Naomi is 100% going on SmackDown just because Jimmy's on SmackDown. So like
Right.
they like to put the spouses together, but like I want them to keep Jade and Bianca apart for a little bit.
Kind of like Jade and Rhea. I mean, kind of like Bianca and Rhea. Because they
Yeah, like
still kept them
this
apart.
is this is a money match. I'm like, let's not hit the gas on this too soon. Like, let's do this right. Let's do this right.
I'm glad you said that. Now let me ask you this then. This is a perfect way. It can be a closing segment if we got anything else left in Benny's block to cover that we missed. But I have to ask you this. Now that we've seen, because you did call this, sis, you called it. You said Jade would debut in this Royal Rumble. You got it right.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. Now let me ask you this. Do you for once think, okay, my auntie is a casual watcher, and she was talking to me about just how much she loved watching Bianca and Jade face to face and having the Spider-Man meme interaction with her
Yeah.
both like right. And the fact that she saw them and she was like, honestly, I coming from a casual watcher now, she's like, I really want to see them tag. I don't want to see them fight each other. And I'm like,
Really?
they would make an interesting tag team because I don't know who's beating
It
that.
wouldn't it wouldn't be fair. It's kind of like Simone Biles where they had to like make a move illegal. Like this isn't fair. Like this isn't fair anymore. Like like this
It's
isn't even
really not.
fair.
But think about it with the Kabuki Warriors
That would be
realistically,
dope. A feud
because
between the Kabuki Warriors and versus Jade and Bianca.
man,
That would be dope. I
you
would love
know,
that. I feel like they might like just like how they're presented, they might be not necessarily above it because I've still like even though like the tag team titles are like mid card, I still
mhm,
value them and their contribution to the division. But
mhm.
I feel like they're ready to be singles. If anything, I've been saying this for months. I want Jade to bring back the baddies. Like I just want Jade to bring back the baddies.
That I'm sure we will get to in due time, sis. But it's baby
Lash
steps. Because
legend, Jada Parker. I'm,
I'm,
I'm
it's still
waving
on
that
record.
flag. I'm
Still
waving
on
that
record.
flag. I'm waving that
Still on
flag.
record. Y'all heard it.
Because you
It's
want to
still
talk
on
about
record.
a crew called Baddies. That, ladies and gentlemen, it's a crew that is worthy of the name.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the fan base will be real with that one. I'm not gonna lie to you, boy. Black men everywhere for that matter, will be like,
Yeah.
oh,
You
I
just hear
need
like a
this.
big old bark, just one big resounding bark across the nation.
Man, for real. So I gotta ask you this then. Who realistically, now that we've seen the debut of Miss Jade Cargill, who realistically
Mm,
to you is her first opponent at WrestleMania?
that is so hard for me because like I feel like we can work our way towards the Jade versus Bianca. Like to me, if I was like the people in the corporate, I'd be like, this is a money match. This like obviously what's bigger than WrestleMania to put a match, but let's build it. Let's tell the story, like a real story of like anything you can do, I can do better. Real competitiveness. Like I want to see them in their own separate divisions, just separately dominating to the point where they can't really avoid each other anymore. To where it's like, listen, this division is not big enough for the two of us, essentially. Starting a real feud, maybe for like SummerSlam or next Mania. But for an opponent for Jade right now, I feel like Nia is a good pick. Nia is a good pick. Nia doesn't really have anything to do for Mania, especially since it's looking like we're going with Rhea versus Nia for Elimination Chamber. So I feel like Nia might be a good first pick. Two powerhouses versus each other. It would give Jade an opportunity to really showcase her talents without necessarily having to post for a high flyer or like, you know, have to like do a whole bunch of crazy intricate moves. I feel like it could just be a good, solid, hard hitting match that just shows like Jade Cargill's a ride, baby.
You know? I agree. I
like that.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. It seems like Nia, I mean, the story's there to tell. You eliminated me and you cost me my moment. And just, you know, all that. But I'm not mad at it. But yeah, it would be interesting to see. It would be interesting to see. But what's even more interesting for the final nugget though, talk about that victory and the shots that we got at the end with all the women sitting at the side with a look of just, damn, that should have been me.
Yeah.
I was this close, right? Like this close.
Yeah.
If that don't tell you that they're telling you that the future of the women's division is Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Bianca Belair, Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
They're getting Jade Cargill, Becky Lynch. They're getting deep.
Yeah.
They're getting deep. And it's wild to think about because I'm sitting here saying, there's still so many matches we haven't seen yet. Like we talk about Jade and Bianca. We still have never gotten Rhea and Bianca yet. People are overglancing. Okay, we talking about two women on the cover of 2K24 have yet to meet.
It's crazy because people on Twitter have been talking about Becky versus Rhea being like the marquee match that everybody wants to see. And I was like, in the women's division, I feel like Bianca and Rhea is a way more like sought after and way more kind of like who would win in a fight, Superman versus like Superman or Goku. Like that's kind of like what I get from that, you know? Like that's the type of energy I get. Like big fight feel, big match feel. So the potential here is crazy. The potential here is crazy.
They got the future's bright for the ladies in any WrestleMania, SummerSlam they want to go because you still have so many untapped dream matches, if you will. That and Charlotte's not even back yet. Wait till she gets back. You know what I mean? Charlotte versus Jade, Charlotte versus Bianca, because we haven't gotten that on a main marquee
level. We were supposed
level.
to get it, we were supposed to get it this year.
Naomi's back. I want to see Naomi and Bianca go at it. I've never seen that yet.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
For Naomi, I just want her to just go at everybody. I want a title before SummerSlam. Like I'm not playing. I'm not playing. Bro. Like
come on. What?
Yeah. Top
and
talent.
She's a part of the bloodline. Let's not forget. She is a part of the bloodline.
Listen, I didn't want to say anything, but if they choose to have Cody lose, they can do a shot in the arm where they add more members, like a Naomi, like a Jacob Fatu, you know, something to help maximize. I'm a dreamer, but
just saying. Now I have a fun little theory about how this plays out for Mania. Quite exclusive. I'll go in more detail on the explanation video here. Okay. But I do have Cody winning at WrestleMania this year.
Okay.
Reason is because I feel like what's going to try to happen is the same history is going to repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
Cody comes this close, and then there's a bloodline member right there.
Yeah.
However, Cody's going to have backup because there's going to be some things that cancel each other out.
Yeah.
Jimmy is going to get canceled out by Jay.
Yeah.
Last year, Jimmy and Jay were on the same bloodline side.
Yeah.
Now, Jay's become a man
Maybe
of
Jay
his
will
own.
come out and help. Yeah, maybe Jay will come out and help. Yeah.
They are former tag team champions. You know, he's going to have Cody's back. Family is family. But like I said, him and his brother are feuding. So,
Yeah.
opposite side. But then there's one extra factor to cancel out Solo. And I think you know where I'm going, sis. And I feel it's if what's being said is correct, the story,
Yeah.
he said, I want long-term build. Meanwhile, one wants to finish his story, which has been going on since last year. So why not start a story by finishing someone else's story? Let that sink in, and I will go in deeper detail, y'all. But let that sink in for a moment. Listen. But shout out to all the ladies this week for killing it. Shout out to WWE for just, you know, like I said, even though it may not have been the most perfect Rumble, they still gave us something to talk about for sure. They gave us a lot to be excited about with going into Mania season. Elimination Chamber is going to be intriguing to see, you know, who actually wins, per se.
For sure.
Got a theory on that one, too. You know, in terms of if we're going to Rhea and Becky, I got a theory.
Listen,
you think Liv?
I'm doing everything in my power to keep this Becky versus Rhea match from happening.
All right.
I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything.
Right. So this is what I need from you, sis. I need an explanation on this. All right. I need you to make a video. I need you to explain exactly why. Make your case and tag Liv Morgan. Okay. I need you to tag Liv. I need you to tag WWE. I need you to tag everybody you can. All right. To explain it, because you still got time, so that if that outcome comes out as Liv Morgan,
it should be. There's an actual story there. The Becky versus Rhea story, they're not even like mirror images of each other. Like it doesn't, I don't understand why this match is so anticipated. I feel like I sound like such a hater, but I don't know why this match is so anticipated, bro. Like I don't get it. During SummerSlam, people started with this nonsense. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Rhea versus Becky at WrestleMania. Huh?
Say it loud, sis. Say it loud.
Yeah, I was
Give it to the people.
I'll plead my case. The people are going to be on my side. I'll plead my case.
I need you to do that. All right, do that, and we're going to post that so the people can see more. But listen, before we get ready to wrap this thing up, man, because we could be all day, but we appreciate y'all always rocking with us. You know, we love y'all. We got so much in store, and we're just still steady, continuing to try to evolve and get things going and rolling just for y'all, man. We appreciate y'all 100%. Make sure you find and follow and give a 5-star review real quick. As by any chance, do you have a botch of the week?
Ooh, a botch of the week. Ooh, man, I feel like they're like a recurring. Actually, you know what? We didn't get into it on Benny's Block this week, but I'm gonna give my botch of the week to the booking this past like 2-3 weeks since Final Battle to Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay. Good one.
So they have announced that a new title. Obviously, they need something else to fight for since Athena is not dropping that title anytime soon. Tony has hold on. Tony has now introduced Hold on, sorry.
Oh, you're good. The anticipation is killing. We have a new championship yet again.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, of course, yes, of course.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened. My AirPods just disconnected for a second. But so Tony Khan introduced the women's TV title a couple weeks back on Ring of Honor. They're basically going to be a tournament to pick the inaugural winner. And I just feel like these 2-minute filler matches, like these no more than 10-minute filler matches that they have been doing, I understand what they're doing. It's basically like, look at Taya Valkyrie, Kiera Hogan is here. They're gonna be in the tournament, like giving them shine before. But I feel like we should just start the tournament. I feel like we should just start the tournament, especially with like how Billy Starks lost. The momentum just has not been there. She got the dub. I'm blanking on who she got the dub over. Tootie Lynn, which was like a pretty good win, but we're finally starting to see that momentum again. Whereas I feel like the entire point of the final battle match was to establish Billy Starks as a star. So having her lose and then not handling the booking as well is certainly a choice. Certainly a choice, but I'm gonna remain an optimist because obviously Billy Starks is the favorite to win that title. So I'm gonna tentatively put it as Botch of the Week, but we'll keep watching. We'll keep watching week to week.
Oh man. I guess my Botch of the Week. I like that, by the way. I love that. Do better, Tony. Do better. Do better, my guy. I hate to say this. Shout out to my boy Chris Robinson. I love you, bro. I hope you're recovering very well, along with the entire city for that matter. But because me and Ashley were in this very city, I have to just put them in my Botch of the Week. Derek might laugh at this. He might. But, ladies and gentlemen, the Detroit Lions. I have to put them in my Botch of the Week because, unfortunately, you had it in the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
You were right on the cusp of going to the Super Bowl and you were about to give the world Taylor Swift versus Eminem in a Super Bowl, for crying out loud. You had Eminem just there. Like,
I was gonna say, you got Eminem in the skybox. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Lose yourself fit so differently today, okay?
Yeah.
You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And that was not a joke, people. It's reality. Yeah. And it's literal now. So, guys, I'm sorry. I had to give y'all my Botch of the Week, man. I love the city of Detroit. Shout out to my boy Chris Robinson and any and everyone out there from Detroit. But God, man, that's a heartbreaker, and I had to put y'all in there, man, because you had it. Just 2 more quarters, man, and you would have did it. But, ladies and gentlemen, nonetheless, that about wraps it up for the Life's a Bot show on this week. We hope y'all enjoyed. We hope we kept y'all entertained, high energy, all that good stuff, as always, as it is with us, man. Be on the lookout for just continuous content from us as much as possible, from video shorts and explanations. I'm sure Ash has some fashion stuff for you guys after seeing Liv Morgan's nice cosplay there.
Yeah, because shout out to Xtina. We didn't even really get into Liv being number 30, but
yeah, Dirty 30. I see where she's going with.
I felt so vindicated because months people were laughing at me like, "Oh, who do you want to make it to WrestleMania against Rhea?" I'll be like, Liv Morgan. It would be like, I was like, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm dead serious. So her coming out as number 30, let me know that, okay, it's not just me who sees her as a top talent, baby. Okay?
Exactly. Not to mention, back to back. We talk about Cody being back to back winners. She's a back to back runner up. Just let that be
Yeah.
known. What's the
2025.
saying? Third time's the charm. So, dare I say, if you go back to back as the runner up, there's a Royal Rumble win in your future somewhere.
Gotta be, gotta
Now,
be.
you can argue. I mean, Jade could come and interfere in that. There's some more. Tiffany could interfere in that.
Yeah.
There's some other possibilities, but
Yeah, hopefully Jade will be a champ by then. Jade will have a belt at that point. There won't be a need for her to be in the Rumble. I'll be like, Jade, no, think about this. Think about this. Think about this. Olivia
yes,
needs this.
Liv's got some obstacles to climb because this
Yeah,
women's
for
division is
sure.
getting deeper.
Although she hit and eliminated Jade, they continue to give her really, really cool accolades, defeating Ronda Rousey twice, hitting that crazy oblivion in between the ropes to eliminate Jade. So
That is true. That is true.
potential
So
story that they could go.
we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, shout out to you guys, man, again for always rocking with us. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. Let us know who you are. We'd love to interact with y'all. Ash, you think we got a question? We could give them an interactive question, something they can maybe ask and ponder on until we get back. What you thinking?
Ooh, something maybe Royal Rumble oriented.
Okay. What is what would you ideally like to see change in next year's Royal Rumble?
Mm.
After listening to our thoughts on the music and fan reaction and things like that, what would you do to spice up next year's Royal Rumble to make it that much more exciting?
Yeah.
Let us know. We want to hear from you. If you want to interact with us on the page and answer that question, all you got to do is follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Life's a Botch underscore OTS. That is Life's a Botch underscore OTS. Let us know your thoughts. What would you do to make next year's Royal Rumble much more of a shakeup? And like I said, you can leave a comment right here on the show. You know what I'm saying? If you on YouTube watching, leave your comments below. If you're listening on your podcast, wherever you are, at work, at home, whatever, leave a comment, 5-star rating review, so that other people can experience this vibe right here. And as always, we thank you for rocking with us, always and forever. And shout out to the platform behind the platform at OTS Media Co. Make sure you follow the brand behind the brand, because without that brand, we can't give y'all all this entertainment. So follow OTS Media CO on all social media outlets. Subscribe, like, and until next time, I need everybody to do it. It's that time. Throw up those 2 sweets, baby, and give us one good old 2 sweet. Peace, baby. Until next time, it's your boy Hi-Lite Real. That's Ash Benny, and we are signing out.
Bye, guys.